WRPB Studios. So, what I find interesting that I didn't realize till I got older was that when you have an event, you don't have to do it in a restaurant. There are specialized places that specialize in doing just this, and they have all the parts to make it work. And that's something, even at this late age, I've learned. With me is Brenda Josephat from MVP Event
Hall.
Hall
Yes.
in Port St. Lucie.
Port St. Lucie, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this: why'd you get into it?
Ooh, why did I get into event hall business? Um, my family and I love to throw parties.
Okay,
Uh, that's the easiest way. We were constantly looking for places that can accommodate large gatherings of people, just to have a really good time, celebrate different milestones, birthdays, wedding anniversaries,
old age.
old age, absolutely, young
Some don't.
age.
Some are not afforded that privilege.
Yes, yes. It's really important for us to really celebrate those milestones and create those memories. And we could not really find a location that was large enough for my family. I have a really big family.
Okay.
So when we come together, we like to party, and there's a lot of us. So it just became really easy for us to say, you know what? Why not invest in a location where we can help solve that problem for other families?
Right. All right. How big is the space?
The space is a total of 4,800 square feet.
Okay.
We have 2,800 square feet designated as open floor space. We have two stages.
Oh wow.
We also have a back, I call it like a food station. And then we also have a built in bar.
Okay, so is there a liquor license there?
There is not a liquor license. So,
Okay.
and you are able to bring in
Right.
liquor,
Right.
as long as you have a licensed and insured bartender that is serving the alcohol
Right.
for you
And
guys.
that's and I will tell you, I sit on the board of the Stuart Martin Chamber. We do
Hmm.
a ton of events, and we use licensed people to come in and do the alcohol.
Yes,
So, and that serves some great purposes because having a liquor license, and I've had bars, is a nightmare.
it is a huge liability
Yep.
and a nightmare, as you mentioned. Yes.
Yep. So we didn't have that. So you get the space.
Hmm.
Now I'm blessed because my business is in the county and yours is in the city. But the codes constantly change,
They do.
and your building was not up to code.
Not 100%, and we weren't aware of that prior to signing our lease.
Right.
So it did take us lots of phone calls, lots of emails, and possibly jumping through hoops. 7 months. It took us 7 months to officially open.
And to get it to where they code is passing.
Yes, well, we got a CO.
Yeah. So okay. So and I'm just trying to think of these pieces that might make sense to you. So you have two stages.
We have two stages.
Do you have people bring their own sound system?
They do. We do have an in-house sound system for those that would like to use it.
Right.
But if you have a DJ, and they have their own equipment that they want to utilize, so they're able to bring it in. Our first stage, it happens to be rather large. It's 22 by 16, so it's
Oh,
a
wow.
really big stage, and that's like our main focal stage that we use. So you could do all your backdrops, your balloons. If you're performing, that's the perfect place to perform. There's plenty of space. And then we have a smaller stage on the side that we usually reserve that for like a guest of honor seating.
Okay, so it's an event space.
Yes.
So you can have a wedding there,
Yes.
wedding reception,
Yes.
and the small stage can be the bride and groom.
It could be the bride and groom, or it could be the wedding party. I say it's a
Is
smaller
it,
stage,
is it
but
big
it's
enough to
actually
hold
pretty.
up?
It is. I
Okay.
actually have a wedding this upcoming Saturday, and there are 16 people that will be placed on that stage,
On the small stage.
on the smaller stage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a pretty. I call it small because it's smaller than the
Yeah.
other one.
Oh, I get that. Okay, so, and I know it took you a while to open,
It did.
okay? But that only tells me that you got everything into place, and I know how difficult the city can be. So if you got everything into place and you got your CO, then you got everything into
We got
place.
everything into place. Yes.
Okay, so you decide to do this, did you have family support?
We did. We had a lot of family support. Initially, when we signed our lease, it was between my partner and I. We really just kind of kept it between us, and we waited for the right moment to tell our
Okay.
family and friends, like, "Hey, guess what? We now have a designated space to party," and they love
So
that.
how you have a partner,
I do. Yes,
and I spoke to her
you did.
initially.
You did.
How do you guys connect? I mean, what's the connection between you and Melissa? Melissa, right?
Marie.
Marie.
Marie. Yes.
What's the connection?
So we're actually life partners.
Okay.
And we've been together now a little over 4 years.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, so we have a lot of things in common, and partying just happens to be one of them. So her family, my family, it just made sense.
And I think before we got on air, you said you have a big family.
I do, I do. I'm the youngest of 8.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom was busy.
Very.
So, okay, so let's talk about what the event space. We spoke about weddings. What other things booked
So
through
we've
there?
actually had some really cool things. We've had bands come through and perform because we do have a really large space, and they love that. We've had we've had a bookstore. I'm sorry, a book expo just recently. That was our first book
Okay, I'm
expo.
so upset because I missed it. My
You did.
mother-in-law is a writer,
Oh,
and I'm in the process of writing a book.
oh my goodness.
I,
You would have
okay,
loved this.
just so you know, I'm in the
Hmm.
process of writing a book only because of AI. Because I don't have the patience to write to
So
write it.
AI is writing your book for
Well,
you?
it's helping me
It's
write this
helping you?
book, and even AI says this is a very because I was molested as a kid,
Mm.
so it's a very sensitive topic,
Oh
and AI
yeah,
says this is a very sensitive topic.
it
I'm like,
truly is.
you're right, AI.
Yeah, it really is.
So
But
you
you'll
had
be surprised how many people that book will help.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I have a tattoo.
Oh,
Okay, because I sit on a crisis line. So you had this book fair
Expo.
expo. How many how many authors did you have? Do you know?
There were 35 authors in the
Wow.
building, and what the best part was, I wasn't the one that spearheaded this expo.
Okay.
We actually had a former client of mine. I'm also a real estate agent.
Okay.
Recently moved to the area, and she's an author,
Oh, cool.
and she just thought, I want to get authors together and really be able to give them some exposure. So she had 35 authors in the room. Lots and lots of people within the community came out to support her. So it was a huge success for her.
And you know, I always tell the story about the first time I ran an event.
Hmm.
It was supposed to start at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, there's 3 people there, and I'm like, I want to hide in a corner. But I realize some people like to show up fashionably late.
They do. They
Okay,
do. They do that for parties too.
right. And the other thing I realized was, don't worry about it. It you could have 20 people come to an event and it can be super successful.
Absolutely.
Okay, especially if you have vendors.
Hmm.
Okay, you can have 100 people, 500 people, and the event not be successful because the vendors weren't happy.
They weren't happy. They
Right.
weren't sales.
Right.
Right.
All right. So yeah, what other type of things are you expecting to have there?
So we have coming up, it is a haunted mansion cocktail show that is happening this weekend, this Sunday. So we're super excited. They travel throughout the United States.
Spirit Mansion.
Spirit Mansion, yes. They travel throughout the United States. They're actually going to be in Fort Myers the day before coming to our location. And when I got that phone call, they just found us on social media. I got the phone call. I was super excited. I'm like, oh, yay, more exposure.
Now, how do they want it set up?
So they are set up theater style
Okay, with chairs
with chairs
and the big stage.
in the big stage. In the big stage. And they have their own bartenders that will be there. There's also security. Um, I know
That's
when
so,
drinking
so
is
important.
involved,
Right.
security is quite important. That's also one of the things that we offer also. All of our private events, we also include security.
Oh, wow, that's very cool.
Yeah, it's just safety measure I've read or seen in different states, not necessarily Florida, where there have been attacks
Oh, of
at
course.
birthday parties and celebrations. So we really try to
Put
keep
alcohol there.
Yeah.
Okay, and sometimes not even alcohol. Put families there. You know, families
Right.
though. And ironically enough, that event is the reason that I found you
Yes,
because
yes.
I was going to try to attempt to cover that event,
Right.
and they're very hard to find those people, and I found the venue, and
Mm-hmm.
through the venue I found the people. But it's interesting because those things, murder mystery shows,
Yes.
because that's what it is,
Yes, that's
are
what it is.
very big.
Oh, big time. Very
Okay,
big.
and I do a lot in Orlando, and Sleuth is a dinner theater that does. They've been doing it forever. Their murder mystery is comedy.
Mm.
Okay, it's a ridiculous comedy dinner show, but we don't have anything down here like
We
that.
don't. Well, we're now starting to get more and more. There's actually going to be another one, Edgar Poe, for poets in Fort Pierce.
Okay,
Literally it just came across my social media page today, so I'm like, wow, more activities for Port St. Lucie.
that's
Yeah,
true. Oh, St. Lucie County,
St. Lucie County, St. Lucie County, the Treasure Coast.
right.
Yeah,
So they're coming, and it's a one night event.
it's a one night event. Yes,
Okay,
yes,
and the cool thing about where you're at is there's plenty of parking,
absolutely.
and that's one thing that I would think that something that you need to look into because that could be difficult if you don't have enough parking.
Hmm.
People get frustrated,
They do.
and it doesn't really work well. What other events do you think that would fit into your event space?
Well, one of the events that I'm super proud of that we recently did for Valentine's Day, we actually had a Valentine's Day pop up selfie museum. So for 2 weeks, we set up our venue with different stations,
Okay,
different Valentine's Day themed stations. That was open to the community and it was a hit. Everyone loved it.
so they came in and went to this station, took a selfie,
Yep,
went to
we
this.
had selfie sticks set up for them with remote control, and they were able to take pictures, take videos. So they really had a great time, and it was also kid friendly activity as well.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
very cool.
So just different things. We're still coming up with different fresh ideas as to what would make sense within our area along the Treasure Coast.
Well, over and above that, I'm gonna guess that the basic things make sense. Wedding,
It does.
okay, um,
Birthday
graduation,
celebrations.
birthday
We've had
celebrations.
repass ceremonies there as well. Graduation, super big.
Yeah.
uh,
But,
yes,
are we coming to graduation time? I don't even know where
we
we're at.
are. We are
Oh, are
May.
we?
We
I'm
are.
like, I'm at a loss for times and days and stuff.
We
Um,
truly are.
so now that you're open and stuff, what's the future in your opinion? I mean, what would you like to see kind of happen?
So for the future, we would like ultimately to obtain a second freestanding location. That would cater more so to the brides to be, the weddings. That's what we ultimately see for ourselves. But right now, it's really just creating those moments for our clients, giving them a place to freely enjoy themselves and not have to worry about parking. You know,
Right. So obviously, you have you, you have clients that are local,
yes,
but you also have clients that are not local
right.
because um, Spirit Mansion,
They are not local.
they're not local.
No,
So
no.
that's kind of cool that you have that. Is there any more? Because we were talking about it, and I haven't seen it yet, and I will come to see it.
Hmm.
Is there any more, for lack of a better word, construction that you want to do in there?
Oh yes, yes.
Renovations, that's the word I want to use.
We're constantly doing renovations. I would say every month there's been a change at our venue. I've now, oh my gosh, besides the stages, we've added more of like a aesthetics look.
Right.
So now we're really focusing on the aesthetics of the interior of the space. We're looking to add chandeliers, different lighting. Yeah, ultimately a kitchen, a food prep area.
So was that was never a restaurant, right?
It was never a restaurant.
Right.
No,
So there was no
no.
food in
There
there.
was no food. It was always Harper's Pool Hall. Prior to us, it was Harper's Pool Hall.
Right. So, and if you have ever been in a pool hall, you can get an idea of the space. It's big open space,
Hmm.
okay, which is really great when you're having a party.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
If you're going to do a networking event, it's a great place to do a networking event. I hate going to networking events that have things in the middle of the floor. So if that was a pool hall if it stayed and they were
Right,
having
they were
networking events,
stationary.
it was
Yes,
annoying.
it
Okay,
is.
you can't move around.
Mhm,
Okay, you want
mhm.
to really connect with people. Okay, how do people find you? you have a phone number?
Yes, I do have a phone number.
And you're local,
I
even though
am
it's not a
local.
local phone
Yes,
number.
it's not a local phone number, but I am local. My phone number is 305-794-0775.
Okay.
And I am on social media, MVP, well, Instagram, MVP Event Hall, Port St. Lucie, PSL, I'm sorry.
And you're on Facebook because that's how I found
Facebook,
you.
same thing, MVP Event Hall on Facebook.
Everybody, this is how I look at it. I can have a party in my house, but then someone's got to clean up, and I don't want to deal with that. Okay.
And then code enforcement, because you can't have loud music after
Right.
11 p.m.
And my house is not big. My house is not big enough for her family, at least. Okay. My family's pretty small, so it might work in my. But there are so many things that are out there to do, and that people want to do,
Absolutely.
and need to find a space to do it. That has the parking.
Hmm.
Okay. And you're right. Do you have a time frame that you can't have music?
So we close at 2 a.m.
So you can have music right
I
at
can
the
have
door.
music up until 2 a.m.
Everybody, check them out. MVP Event Hall
PSL, on
PSL
Instagram.
on Instagram or Facebook.
Yes.
Brenda, thank you so much for coming
Thank you. I
I wish
really
you the best.
appreciate it. Thank you
Everybody,
so much.
have a great day. We'll be right back.